Ever see one of those, amazing artisans at a market or a fair?
Oh, yeah.
Like their hands are just like doing these incredible things, shaping, I don't know, wood or clay into something you could never imagine.
That's like magic almost.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, how does that kind of skill, the kind that's passed down through generations, actually survive?
Especially as those masters, those holders of all that knowledge get older.
Exactly. It's a real challenge, isn't it? Like, how do we keep those threads, those vital parts of our culture from just, I don't know, vanishing?
Yeah, it's more than just making beautiful objects.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We're talking about centuries of, like, wisdom problem-solving approaches that are totally unique. And often it's the identity of entire communities.
It is, and when a craft disappears, it's not just a skill that goes away.
Right.
It's like this whole way of seeing the world that fades out.
You said it perfectly, and that's exactly what we're, diving into today.
Right. We came across some fascinating stuff about a new initiative called Apprenticeship Connect.
Interesting name.
Yeah. Basically, it's this platform, this online space that's connecting those master craftspeople with people who really want to learn.
Keeping that cultural heritage alive.
Exactly. Not just surviving, but thriving.
What I find really cool about this is how it came about. It wasn't just like someone had a light bulb moment. Apprenticeship Connect, it actually went through a process. With EON Reality's AI-powered entrepreneur guide.
Okay, break that down for me a little. AI-powered entrepreneur guide.
Imagine having this, like, super experienced mentor, right?
Okay.
Someone with, like, a massive database of business insights in their head.
I'm with you.
And they're helping you take this passion, this drive to preserve something and turn it into something that can actually work like a real enterprise.
Right. So this AI guide, it kind of took that raw passion and helped build a framework around it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because the urgency here, I mean, the numbers tell the story, don't they?
They really do.
We're talking over half of all traditional crafts. They don't have any formal documentation.
No manuals, no standardized training, nothing.
And then on top of that, a whopping 70% of master artisans are over 50?
Yeah, it's a huge amount of knowledge that's irreplaceable, and there's, like, no clear way for it to be passed on.
We're on the verge of losing not just the techniques, but like you said, entire vocabularies of art and culture.
Narratives that have been built up over centuries, it's pretty concerning.
It is. So let's rewind a bit. How did this Apprenticeship Connect thing even start? Like, how did the EON Entrepreneur Guide, this AI thing, play a role?
Well, the entrepreneur, the person behind this, they used the guide's, what are they called? Purpose discovery tools.
Purpose discovery tools. Okay.
Not just some basic questionnaire. These tools really dig deep,
Yeah.
into your passions, your motivations. And in this case, the entrepreneur, they were super aligned, like 9 out of 10, with traditional crafts. And get this, skill transfer.
So passing on that knowledge was really key for them.
Huge. Oh, and they also scored an 8 out of 10 for commitment to cultural heritage.
Those are pretty strong signals.
Massive. So
Yeah.
the guide, it was like, okay, this is where your energy needs to go. You care about this. You want to preserve these traditions, so let's make it happen. It helped turn a general interest into, like, a laser-focused mission.
I see. So the guide wasn't just saying, oh, you like this, that's nice. It was like, okay, let's take this passion and use it to tackle this specific problem.
Exactly.
So once they had this mission, this focus, what kind of, I don't know, roadblocks did the EON Entrepreneur Guide help them uncover? Like, what were the challenges specific to traditional crafts that they needed to address?
Well, that's where the guide's problem identification engine came in, and it revealed some pretty, some pretty stark realities.
Like what?
First off, remember how we talked about over half of these crafts lacking any formal documentation? That's a massive vulnerability. Imagine trying to learn, let's say, Venetian glass blowing, something incredibly intricate, with only, like, fragmented instructions passed down through whispers and stories. You're bound to lose details, crucial pieces of the process.
Oh, for sure. It'd be like trying to understand an ancient language with only a few broken pieces of a tablet. The general idea might be there, but you miss all the nuance.
Oh, perfect analogy. And then the demographic issue.
Yeah.
70% of masters being over 50, that's like a ticking time bomb.
Right, and it's not necessarily that younger people aren't interested.
Not at all.
It's that the pathways to connect with these masters, to learn from them, they're just not there.
Exactly. And on top of all that, the traditional apprenticeship model itself, it's struggling.
In what way?
The guide identified this lack of consistent funding and clear economic incentives.
So it's tough for masters to dedicate the time and resources to teach.
Yeah, and it makes it hard for apprentices to, commit to learning for a long period without some kind of support.
Right. Passion is great, but you need to be able to, well, live.
Exactly. You need a system where people can actually sustain themselves while they're learning and practicing these crafts.
So with all these challenges laid out, what does Apprenticeship Connect actually do? Like, how does it, as a platform, tackle these problems?
It's like a central hub, a digital marketplace with some really key components.
Okay, I like where this is going.
First, they've got this personalized digital matching system.
Matching, like a dating app.
Kind of. But instead of connecting romantic partners, it's matching master craftspeople with potential apprentices.
Interesting. Based on what?
All sorts of factors. The specific craft, the techniques, the teaching style of the master, the learning goals of the apprentice, even their location.
Makes sense. I mean, learning a craft isn't just about absorbing information. It's about that connection, the mentorship.
You got it. Finding a good fit in terms of personality and learning style, it can make or break the whole experience.
For sure. Okay, so matching, that's one thing. But what about the whole documentation issue? Half of these crafts don't have any written records.
Yeah, they thought of that too. They've got tools for multimedia documentation.
It's not just writing things down.
No, we're talking video, high-resolution photos, structured guides. Imagine seeing a master potter's hands in slow motion with little notes popping up explaining each tiny movement. That level of detail, it's invaluable.
Wow, that would be incredible. And it really gets to the heart of preservation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Even if a master can't teach anymore, their knowledge, their process, it's all captured. It's like a living archive of our cultural practices.
And then there's the economic side of things. Apprenticeship Connect does something about that too, right?
Yeah, they have market connection systems built in.
So it's not just about learning a craft, it's about being able to make a living from it.
Exactly. It's about connecting craftspeople directly with markets, helping them sell their creations. Because, let's be honest, without that economic engine, it's hard to attract new talent.
Right. If apprentices can see a future where they can support themselves with their skills, they're way more likely to stick with it.
You nailed it.
And I think this is crucial. They also have information about stipends and funding.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. That directly addresses the financial barriers that keep people from even considering an apprenticeship.
It opens doors for people who might not have the means to dedicate, months or even years to learning a craft.
And it ensures that talent isn't being excluded just because of financial limitations.
Okay, so we've talked about the platform in general. Let's zoom in on the benefits for the people actually using it. First, the masters. Why would they choose Apprenticeship Connect?
I think the benefits are pretty clear. First, that personalized matching.
Yeah, saves them a ton of time and effort.
Right. They don't have to rely on word of mouth or those informal networks that might not be reliable. And then the documentation tools.
That's a game changer for them.
They can create these detailed records of their work, their process. It's like building a legacy.
And for many of these masters, their craft is so deeply tied to their identity. Knowing that their knowledge will be preserved, that must be really powerful.
Absolutely. It's about passing on their life's work. And let's not forget about the recognition and compensation piece.
Right, connecting with markets, getting fair pay for their skills.
It validates their expertise and gives them opportunities they might not have had before.
Okay, so flipping the script. What about the apprentices? Why would they want to use Apprenticeship Connect?
For someone who's eager to learn, this platform is like a golden ticket.
How so?
It gives them access to masters, to these incredible sources of knowledge that they wouldn't find in a traditional school. They're learning directly from the source, often in a really personal setting. And the platform, it provides structured learning paths.
So it's not just about being in the same room as a master, it's about having a clear roadmap for how to actually learn the craft.
Right. And the fact that there's information about stipends, that's huge. It makes these apprenticeships possible for people who might not otherwise be able to afford them. And then there's the guidance on how to actually build a career, a livelihood from these skills.
It's like they're bridging the gap between learning a skill and turning it into a profession.
Exactly. That's the kind of support that can make all the difference.
So we've looked at the individual benefits, but let's zoom out again. What's the impact on, the bigger picture, our cultural heritage? How does Apprenticeship Connect contribute to preserving traditions on a large scale?
I think the most obvious impact is the safeguarding of endangered crafts.
The ones that are at risk of disappearing.
Exactly. And the techniques, the knowledge that's often undocumented. By connecting masters and apprentices, by creating these digital records, the platform is preventing irreversible cultural loss.
It's not just about saving a craft, it's about saving a whole way of life.
And the stories, the meanings behind these crafts, they're passed on too. The connection between the master and the apprentice, it ensures that the cultural context, those intangible elements, they get transmitted alongside the skills.
Right, those stories are woven into the practice itself. You can't learn them from a book.
No, you learn them from the experience, from being in that space with the master.
Yeah.
And by fostering these connections, the platform is revitalizing communities.
It's like rekindling a flame that was about to go out. Okay, so let's get practical for a second. How does Apprenticeship Connect plan to survive financially?
They've got a multi-pronged approach. First, matchmaking fees.
So when a master and an apprentice are successfully matched?
Yeah. Then they take a small administrative fee from any apprenticeship funding that's managed through the platform.
Which makes sense. They're providing a valuable service.
They also have plans for a curated online marketplace.
Oh, so masters and apprentices can sell their work directly to buyers.
Exactly. And the platform takes a commission on those sales. And finally, they're working on institutional partnerships.
Like with museums or cultural organizations?
Yep. Collaborations, sponsorships, that kind of thing.
It sounds like they've really thought about sustainability, not just relying on one source of income.
Absolutely. It's about creating a model that can support the platform in the long run.
So what about the future? What's their plan for growth?
They've got a clear roadmap. Initially, they're focusing on 3 craft categories.
Okay.
They want to attract at least 20 master craftspeople and 50 apprentice applicants.
That's a good starting point.
Within the first year, their goal is to facilitate 15 successful apprenticeships and document at least 5 endangered crafts.
Solid goals.
Then, they'll be securing funding partnerships for stipends and launching the marketplace within 2 years.
And after that?
Their long-term vision is to expand to 10 or more craft categories, work with a larger network of masters and apprentices across multiple regions, and document at least 25 traditional crafts within the first 3 years.
Wow, that's ambitious.
It is, but they've got a structured plan to get there.
And it sounds like they've put a lot of thought into the technology side of things too, right? Like making sure the platform is actually designed to preserve cultural heritage.
Oh yeah, they've been very deliberate about that. For starters, they've created a user interface that's easy to use for people of all ages and tech skills.
Recognizing that not all masters are comfortable with technology.
Exactly. Then, they've developed specific tools for multimedia documentation.
Going beyond just basic video recording.
Right. Slow motion capture, annotations, templates that are designed to capture the nuances of these intricate techniques. And they haven't forgotten about the cultural context.
The stories, the meaning behind the craft.
There are frameworks for documenting all of that, ensuring that it's preserved along with the technical skills. And they've made sure the platform is accessible to everyone, regardless of their needs.
So it's really tailored to this specific purpose.
It is. They didn't just slap together a generic platform and call it a day.
And what about the economic side? How does Apprenticeship Connect help these crafts stay relevant in the modern world?
Well, they're providing resources on craft modernization.
So helping artisans adapt their traditions for today's markets.
Exactly. They've got storytelling tools to help craftspeople connect with consumers who care about authenticity.
People want to know the story behind the things they buy.
Absolutely. And of course, there are the market connections, the guidance on pricing, and resources on developing sustainable practices.
It's about empowering these craftspeople not just to create beautiful things, but to build sustainable businesses.
They're giving them the tools to thrive in today's world.
And we can't forget about the EON Entrepreneur Guide, the AI that played such a big role in all of this.
Yeah, the guide, it was like the foundation. It took the entrepreneur's passion and guided them through a clear process. It offered personalized advice, AI-powered analysis, even immersive learning.
Wow.
It's like having this super smart mentor by their side, helping them align their vision with the real needs of the craft community.
So at the end of the day, Apprenticeship Connect, it's really a game changer, isn't it?
It is.
It's using technology to bridge the gap between generations and create a future where these crafts can not only survive, but thrive.
You see a problem that seems almost impossible to solve, the loss of these incredible skills and knowledge.
Yeah.
And they're addressing it in a way that's structured, comprehensive, and optimistic. It's combining technology with a deep respect for tradition.
it really gets you thinking, you know?
Right.
How much knowledge is out there held by individuals in all sorts of fields that could be lost if we don't make an effort to pass it on?
Oh, tons. It's happening everywhere.
Wow, what's the unwritten knowledge in our own lives and our communities that's at risk of disappearing? It's a question we should all be asking.
We should. It's about recognizing that these skills, these traditions, they're valuable, they're worth saving. And platforms like Apprenticeship Connect, they're showing us that it's possible.
It gives me hope, that's for sure.
Me too.
Thanks for breaking all this down for us. It's been really insightful.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about something that's important.
And to our listeners, keep those minds curious. Keep exploring those hidden corners of knowledge. And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to start your own journey of preservation.
Or maybe you'll discover a passion you never knew you had. The possibilities are endless.
Until next time, keep on learning.
And keep on creating.